What up, Hawkeye fans? What a tough loss. Tough loss. But doesn't all go downhill from here. We got other games we can win. Going into Camp Randall is very tough. Very tough. If I had to say anything though, this is mostly on the offense. My name's Eric Pasker. I'm the Hawkeye Homer. I think the Hawkeyes are going to win every game. I thought they were going to win this game. Number 9 ranked in the country versus a nobody. Come on. Should have been easy. We go into Randall, very tough to win. I understand that. But a lot of this falls on the offense. We'll get Spencer Petras. We'll look at Brian Ferentz. I'm telling you right now, Brian Ferentz today did not do anything to help Spencer Petras. Nothing to help Spencer Petras. The first half, with the exception of one possession, 3 and out, fumble, 2 fumbles. Take that back, 3 fumbles. Awful by the Hawkeyes. It doesn't fall all on one person. You know, we had Charlie Jones fumble. We have a missed handoff fumble. We had Spencer Petras fumble. If you don't score points in the first half in Camp Randall against Wisconsin, you don't have a chance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we had 5 yards in the first half. 5 yards. Really? I mean, there's a reason why I keep drinking, because the fucking Hawkeyes make me drink. A little background on myself. I have no analytic skills. I don't claim to have analytic skills. I'm just a fan like you. I'm an armchair quarterback. I'm an armchair coach. But I call it like I see it. And right now, if you look at the last 3 games, Brian Ferentz looks like he has no feel for the game. None. We run the ball more than we pass the ball. Everybody knows with half a brain that you got to get Spencer Petras warmed up. And before the game is just not doing it. It's not. He has to be warmed up during the game. He has to get a feel for the game. Instead, during the first half, we run more times than we pass. Excuse me. To me, that doesn't make sense. Common sense tells you that if the run game isn't working and is predictable, trust me, if I'm sitting there and I can see that the run game is predictable, what do you think Wisconsin's seeing? Tell me what Wisconsin's seeing if they know the run's coming. On top of that, if we're going to run the ball in the same general direction, the B gap every time, what do you think Wisconsin's seeing? If I know it's coming, they know it's coming. I'm just an armchair quarterback, an armchair coach. I see it. This game falls on 2 people, and it's not the defense. The defense did actually really good considering what they were given. No, we didn't get the turnovers. We didn't. But what do? You're not going to get the turnovers every game. It's not going to be like the first 5 games of the year. And to tell you the truth, that's impressive how much they got the first 5 games of the year. Impressive. We were leading the nation in turnovers, whether it be interceptions or what have you. Fumbles, you know. They haven't. Iowa's offense, Iowa's defense, Iowa's special teams have been pretty consistent, but Iowa's offense and defense has not taken a step back the last few games. They have been playing what they are. I am a Petras supporter, but I am not stupid. Petras is a decent quarterback when he is warmed up. And what I mean by warmed up is he has to have a few short passes to gain his confidence to get up in that let's go. I got this in hand. Iowa has to set up the pass to get to the run. For some reason, Brian Ferentz doesn't see it that way. And that's okay. I'm not a football guru, but as a guy on the sidelines, as a guy watching the game, even I know that. The first half is not acceptable to anybody, to any team. Any team, period. When you gain 1 first down in the first half, that's embarrassing. And no football team is going to win games when you have 1 first down in the first half. You have 3 and outs the first 3 possessions. The first 5 possessions, 6 possessions, resulted in a turnover or a 3 and out. If you can't score points in college football, one of 2 things. Bad play calling, not good quarterback play. The Hawkeyes experienced both. Both. Terrible. If I had to put this game on somebody's shoulders, I would start with Brian. That's what happens when you're the guy that's calling the plays. You're the guy that gets called out. Brian, you suck today. You sucked the last 3 games. We won against Penn State. Whoop-de-fucking-do right now at this point. Whoop-de-do. Got to figure it out. You have no feel for the game, obviously, either way. Or you are scripted to the point where you are so scripted that you're in your team. Hindering your team. I absolutely strongly believe that you are. You know that Tyler Linderbaum is good. And I agree with you. He is the best in college football. I will put all my money on him being the best center in college football. With that being said, your guards are not, I wouldn't say they're awful, but they're not good. They make me want to drink. Your quarterback play, the last 3 games, I'm not sure if it's Spencer Petras or if it's you not giving him the confidence. Again, want me to drink again, don't you? I am the Hawkeye Homer, and I think the Hawkeyes are going to win. I believe they were going to win up to halftime. After halftime, I believe they were going to win. They scored that touchdown. My confidence was way up there, man. But your play calling was way the hell down at the middle of my feet if I had to guess. Just awful. With that being said, what's going on this year? This isn't something that's new. We can start from Indiana to Penn State, to Wisconsin. It's not good. Everybody wants to say execution. No. It's not knowing what your players are good at. It's not taking advantage of what you players have. It's pretty sad when fans like me know that Spencer Petras has to be well. It is what it is. We know that. You can't tell me you don't know that, Brian. You can't. I'm calling you out to your this week's call out. You got to do better. The run game is not there. Specifically, the run game is not there up the middle. You know what does work, though? And this has been said through multiple different broadcasts. When you run it outside, when you pull Linderbaum, when you pull Shat, when you pull your guards, when you do, good things happen. Do you not see this? I know you watch film every week. The 2 things I do every week is watch the Hawkeye game at 60. I don't know if I'm going to do it this week because it makes me want to puke. Just like the Purdue game made me want to barf all over the damn place. What's going on? Last week or 2 weeks ago against Purdue, I was convinced that it was because the defense couldn't get off the field. This week, I'm not so sure. This week, I firmly believe it's the play calling of the offense. Last week, 2 weeks ago, Spencer Petras, you got him warmed up, you got him going, just couldn't score. You got to score. You got to score. Defensively today, put in a lot of tough positions. They were put in a lot of tough positions because the offense couldn't do shit. That first half was one of the worst first halves I've ever seen in my lifetime. I'm 33 years old. If it was up to me, the person that should be calling the plays right now is Ken O'Keefe. And I know I'm going to hit a lot of negative feedback on this, but let's remember who Ken O'Keefe helped coach. Nathan Chandler. Come on, he wasn't breaking any records, but he was serviceable. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was around for Christensen before he went to Miami. If it was up to me, I think Ken O'Keefe should be the offensive coordinator. Brian should be the tight ends coach or the offensive line coach. That's what he's successful at. But if I look at Ferentz's work as a whole, it's not completely bad. But this year, he's not going to his strengths, not to his quarterback strengths, not to his offensive line strengths. Tell you the truth, I don't think he's doing Petras any justice. I don't think Petras is great. He's not a Stanzi. I would say he's even worse than Stanley. I think if I had to rank Petras, he's right along the line of Drew Christensen. And Christensen was just like Petras, very highly ranked as a recruit. They just can't complete. Some of it's drop passes. You know, I'm a firm believer if it's in the hands, catch the damn thing. But today, I try to look at everything as a whole. And I think myself, and I kept watching the game, taking notes. And the only thing I can think of is it comes back to the offense. The defense is not going to get turnovers every game. Have you ever watched football before? What the Hawkeyes did the last 7 games, the last, 8 games, 9 games, I don't know. How many ever games in a row they got a turnover? That's something that doesn't happen every day. You ain't going to get a turnover every game. That's hard to do. Extremely hard to do. Now, with that being said, let's switch over to the defense a little bit. Got to do something different. Phil Parker is a genius. I will take that to my grave. He's a genius, but he has his faults too. Every genius has some kind of faults. And Phil's is having a hard time getting to the quarterback. We have zero pressure on the quarterback. It just seems like that at least the last 3 games, which is weird. We blitz, but we don't blitz right, if that's the right thing to say. I don't know. Like I said, I'm an armchair quarterback, an armchair coach. Analytics. You want somebody with analytics, you go to the other guys that are doing live stream. They do a hell of a lot better when it comes to knowing what's on top. I'm just the guy that speaks from the heart and loves his Hawkeye team probably way too much. I have an 8.5-foot Iowa Hawkeye flag that goes outside my house every weekend. I have another one that hangs on the side on my porch. I am the Hawkeye Homer. I am. I love the Hawkeyes more than anything, but I'm also a big critic of the Hawkeyes. I want them to do their best. I know they can do better than this. I know they can play better than this. Defensively, the last 3 games, I don't care if they score less than 20, if the other team scores less than 25 points or not. If you can't get to the quarterback, like the Hawkeyes haven't been able to, not good. There is no team that can't get to the quarterback that's going to do good in a game. You make that quarterback feel uncomfortable. Guess what? You're going to throw your picks. You're going to throw your tip balls, and you're going to throw your incompletions a lot. You cannot put this all on your front four. You got to blitz. And then the Hawkeyes have blitzed. To their credit, they have blitzed. But they've done a terrible job of disguising it. Terrible job. You know when Campbell's going in. You do. You know when he's going to break off on a running back. Again, like I said, I'm not the smartest person in the world, and I knew when Campbell was going to break off on a running back. I did. I would love to see Iowa go more man instead of cover 2. I like cover 2. I think cover 2, Tampa 2, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is awesome. But at the same time, you got to watch what the fuck you're doing. You go in cover 1, you blitz a guy. That's just my opinion. And you blitz a guy not showing it right away. You send 2 or 3 guys up there, and you do the old slap on the ass, and I'm going on this side or I'm going on that side, whatever. But you blitz that one where you confuse the defense. Iowa does a great job when they shuffle their defense or whatever, but when they do that Raider defense where everybody's standing up, they're starting to figure that out. They are. It's not like 2-3 years ago where nobody knows where it's coming, and Iowa's like, oh, everybody's like, where the fuck is it coming from? Everybody's starting to figure that out. That's what they do in college. That's what they do in the pros. You wonder why the Raiders don't do that defense, because it was called the Raider defense, because everybody fucking figured it out. What Iowa needs to do on offense, I would think, mix it up. Open up the playbook. This is college football. It's not the pros. It's college. Throw that ball right away. If you're going to do an RPO, make sure you have a quarterback that can actually run the ball. Sorry, Petrus is not going to run the ball. In an RPO, I would love to see Petrus run that ball, because guess what? Nobody would fucking expect it. Nobody. But they can, because Petrus is a statue back there. And as a lifelong Miami fan, Dolphin fan, I had to live with the Tannehill years. This is what reminds me of the Tannehill years. No pocket presence. Petrus doesn't have it. And when he does, that son of a bitch falls to the ground. I love Petrus. I'm a Petrus fan. But he has no pocket presence. None. So he's got to figure it out. When Padilla came in today, it wasn't good. But it wasn't bad. I want to see more Padilla. Kind of reminds me of the Rudock-Beathard situation. Don't get me wrong. Let's not compare that, I guess, because Beathard and Padilla should not be compared. Beathard was on a different level. He was on a different level. He had a different offensive line. But Petrus and Rudock is very comparable. They can throw the ball, but they need an offensive line to block. If they don't, not good. And I would argue, that Rudock was 5 times better in an Iowa uniform than Petrus. And I like Petrus. I like Petrus a lot. I don't think he is the problem. There's multiple problems. The offensive line's got to block. There was multiple times today I thought that the tackles looked young. They whiffed. And they give Petrus time. A lot of people will say, well, hey, he had this guy wide open. Yeah, he had this guy wide open. But when he's not open, when he has guys in his face, the last thing you're thinking of is this guy is wide open. It is. couple things I want to talk about. We're down in our red zone, and we run the ball up the middle with Potterbomb twice. I'm okay with the first time. The first time, see what you can get. He got what? Maybe a yard and a half, 2 yards. The second time, everybody knew where that ball was going. Wisconsin had, 9, 10 guys in the box? Come on. At that time, I'm either doing two things. I'm calling a timeout or I'm switching the goddamn play. Ferentz had an opportunity to call a timeout. He didn't. And when I say Ferentz, I mean Brian or Kirk. They both had the opportunity. They didn't. As far as Petrus, I don't know. Is Petrus being told this is the play? You don't have an option? I don't know. But there should have been something. You know why there should have been something? Because there's that many guys in the box. Even he could have called timeout. That might have pissed the coaches off, but guess what? Great leaders know when something is wrong, and Petrus doesn't have that. Either that or he's too fucking scared. And if he's too damn scared to call a timeout because the right play ain't called or he can't call the right play, he should not be in there. If you're a captain, figure it out. You're the leader. If that's not the right play call, it's on you. I don't care if you're in college, high school, pros, whatever. You have that many guys in the box. Your line hasn't been blocking for you that great all day. You have a feel for the game. You fucking know what's going on. Call timeout or switch the damn play. I'm telling you right now, if you would have done a pitch or a jet sweep or something, that ball goes for first down, if not a touchdown. We scored 14 points in the last 2 goddamn games. We are the number 9 ranked team in the fucking nation. Number 9. Not anymore, obviously. We might be 16, 17. I would even say we might drop down to 20. Figure it the fuck out. Figure it out. To me, this team offensively does not have a goddamn clue. And you can't say, well, Brian's a young offensive. I don't give a shit. You've had 3 fucking years to figure it out. 3. If you can't figure it out, go back to tight ends and offensive line. That's what you're good at. Put O'Keefe back in the fucking seat where he belongs because O'Keefe is a good offensive coordinator. O'Keefe has made average quarterbacks look fucking phenomenal. You know why? Because he has a great feel for the game. And he has a great feel for what his quarterback can and cannot do. Obviously, Brian Ferentz doesn't trust his guy because if he did trust his guy, he would give him more opportunities to throw. I know Tyler Goodson is a good running back. But I know that a good running back can't do shit without a good offensive line. And we do not have a good offensive line. We don't even have an average offensive line. It's below average. Next year might be a different story. I don't know. It's fucking next year. But Brian Ferentz has to figure it out. He does not have a feel for the game. He needs one. He needs one. So where do the Hawkeyes go from here? That's tough to say. Tough to say. Iowa needs to, I wouldn't say regroup. I think that's not the right term. But they have to figure out what they want out of their offense. And in my opinion, the run should not be an emphasis. I've seen a couple things on Twitter today, Is this Padilla's tryout? Maybe. I doubt it. Let me. It's not good. So we'll go to the Twitter portion of our game. I love Twitter because the fans are real. They're the same like me. They're an armchair quarterback and armchair coach, and they know what to do. But you got to think to yourself, does it make sense? If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. There's multiple times today where Iowa has been predictable, and we've been that way too bad. We've been that way with O'Keefe. Earlier you said, I think that O'Keefe should be the offensive coordinator. I still believe that. As predictable as that son of a bitch was, guess what? His offense always produced, even if it was in the mid-50s in the nation. The mid-50s right now, would you love the mid-50s in the nation right now? I guarantee you would love the mid-50s in the nation right now. And if you don't think that, you are fucking dumb. It is what it is. I was reading on Twitter earlier today that it's not just Petrus. Should we have Padilla? Padilla's doesn't have a pocket presence. Padilla's a backup. He haven't gotten the opportunity. Give the kid a chance. I'm a Petrus supporter, but I think Padilla should have a chance. It's just like the Rudolph Bethard situation, like I said earlier. Give him a chance. Will he ball out? Fuck if I know. But I'm willing to take that chance. Does Brian Ferentz need to open the playbook? Abso-fucking-lutely. I am a big believer in not going to scripted plays. As a matter of fact, I think scripted plays should be held for the first drive of the game. And if the scripted plays you have don't work, scrap that fucking shit and you got a backup plan. If you don't have a backup plan, you are just fucking dumb. Dumb. Do what you can. Win the game. I have no problem showing other people what the fuck I can do. You know why? Because guess what? That means they got to put all their effort into something that they have to stop. They have to stop one or two plays. Good fucking Lord. Switch it up in the middle of a fucking game. Make them shit bricks. Brian Ferentz said earlier, was it this week or last week, that he wish it was like Tecmo Bowl and he has to hit the reset button. Obviously, that son of a bitch hasn't played Madden. Because if he did, he would be playing more fucking offense, better offense than fucking Tecmo Bowl. Period. Really? Guess what? I played Tecmo Bowl and I played Madden. And I'm telling you right now, Madden is light years ahead of the Tecmo Bowl. Light years. As a matter of fact, I'd pay money to have Brian Ferentz run a fucking play for Madden. I think he could learn something. You can't tell me that his kids don't play Madden. Everybody plays fucking Madden. I mean, are you kidding me? Things I didn't see today. I saw one play action pass. We should have had more. Remember that play, the rollout, naked bootleg to the tight end? Where the fuck has that been? We haven't seen that since Maryland. I might be wrong on that. It might have been since Penn State, but we haven't seen it the last two games. Play action pass. We haven't seen a lot of that. I think I've seen once today, maybe twice. That is not enough. Iowa is known as a running school. If I had to put the loss on anybody today, it's Brian Ferentz. I think I made that obvious. We turned over the ball 3 times today. Guess what? I still put the blame on Brian Ferentz. Still. And at halftime, I still thought the Hawkeyes were going to fucking have a chance to win. Why? Because I'm a fucking homer. I have a few call-outs today. You know, we got a game next week. A fucking game next week. Who do you think we're gonna? What do you think we're gonna do? What do you think we're gonna do? Telling you right now, it doesn't look good. Next week, our game's at Northwestern. And I fucking hate I've hated Northwestern since they injured Ricky Stanzi. Was it back in 2009, 2008, something like that? I can't remember. I'm fucking old. It's a night game. It's another away game, if I believe, right? Let me check here on the phone. Yep, another away game against a 3-4 team. Figure it the fuck out. Brian, I'm calling you out. This week's call out to go to Brian Ferentz. Goes to Spencer Petras. And it goes to the Hawkeye defense. And I hate calling out the defense because they had a good game today. Not a great game, but a good game today. They're a hell of a lot better in third down efficiency this week. Hell of a lot better. But this is what we need from the defense. We need turnovers. We need pressure on the quarterback. And for fuck's sake, we need a sack. We need something on defense because the offense is obviously not producing. Offensively, Spencer Petras. Let's start with you, buddy. Short, quick passes. Don't look down the goddamn field. Sometimes it's better to be a first read quarterback. Just do it. If the first read's not there, move up in the pocket, look for your second read. If the second read's not there, you better be fucking running. And I understand that given your offensive line, you can't do that. I understand that. So, beginning of the game, I would say the first 10 minutes of the game, if you can't get you to your second read, off to the fucking races, bitch. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Brian Ferentz, you are my third call out for the next week. We are playing Northwestern. Pat Fitzgerald hates daddy. Your daddy. Mm-hmm. So, I'm calling you out. Get away from the goddamn script. If it doesn't work in the first fucking series, don't be afraid to move that bitch along. This is not Tecmo Bowl. Play Madden. Tecmo Bowl, Madden. If you need help, there are thousands of Madden players that play. They will tell you what fucking play to run. But everybody knows, if you're going to be in I formation, you're running the ball. You're running the ball. That's the way it is. It's like if you go into the Wildcat, we know you're running the ball. I shouldn't know that. I'm a casual. I'm not an experienced analytical person. I'm an armchair quarterback, and I know where that ball is going. A gap or B gap. Goodson's not handing that fucker off. 2. I formation. Please, play action. For the love of fucking God, play action. And I don't care where you throw that bitch to, just don't throw or hand the ball off. I'm calling you out, Brian Ferentz. So that's 3. 3 call-outs. Figure it out, all 3 of you. Okay? Next week, we have Northwestern. Do I have confidence in North? Yeah, I have North. We're going to beat Northwestern. I believe that wholeheartedly. But it can't be done without Iowa going against the grain. You know what Iowa prides itself on? Doing the same thing over and over every goddamn week. Don't. Do something different. Fuck, for God's sakes, lay a shit on the fucking turf, for God's sakes. That'd be different than what you guys did this week. You guys did more than that. You had fucking diarrhea. It was awful. We can't have first halves like this anymore. Was this week a week of giving Padilla a chance? No. Nobody believes that. If they do, you got me fooled. But I don't believe it. As far as everybody else that's listening to this or wants to listen to this, I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, yeah, it is what it is. Don't be afraid to criticize me. You can't hurt my feelings. I don't have any. Just ask my wife and my kids. But I take the criticism and try to improve. I'm definitely not the guy that's over analytical. Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But there's other people out there that are more established, and maybe you guys should follow them. But I'm one of you guys. I have fun. I love the Hawkeyes probably more than I should. Don't forget to follow me at Eric Pasker on Twitter. We'll see where it goes. This is just the first episode. Hopefully we get better from there. Maybe we can get into some fan reaction. Just depends where it goes. But remember, on Iowa, go Hawks. We'll do it again next week. I love each and every one of you. Rock on, Hawkeyes.